Hello, everybody. This is Zach's at it again. I'm your host, Zach Cooley, and I'm honored to be here with Suzy Booth. She is the technical director at the Millwald Theatre and a super talented lady in partnership with the the executive director of the Millwald Theatre, Donnie Bales. They have conceived the wonderful separate project of the Ghost Light Bourbon Bar, and that's what we are going to talk about today. Suzy, first of all, thank you so much for joining me and being a part of the podcast.
Hi, Zach. Thanks so much for having me.
Well, it's an honor to have you, and it was an honor to meet with you last month, I believe it was. We met at this beautiful Ghost Light Bourbon Bar and had a wonderful conversation. And I would like our listeners to know some of the things we talked about. So, can you tell me? First of all, let's talk about the Ghost Light Bourbon Bar. Let's talk about what it is and what kind of things, such as cocktails, are offered there. And then we will get into some other things.
Sure. So, the Ghost Light is first and foremost a patron space. So, for any of our donors at a certain level, or anyone who purchases an additional Ghost Light ticket on top of their show ticket, they're able to come down and experience this space as a pre-show space, as a place during intermission to hang out, and sometimes we're opening it up post-show as well. We've invited artists to come after they've done everything backstage, after they've packed up. Sometimes we've invited artists down here post-show as well. So it's certainly first and foremost a show day space. And then we also have separate events down here. We've had one artist specifically, Chase Altizer, came and played for us one evening. It's a very small, very intimate space that's perfect for one performer, but that's a really lovely, it gives it a really lovely atmosphere, a backdrop for a night of music. We've also done silent films down here, silent film screenings. It's a multi-use space. It is small but mighty, and we really like it.
And it is indeed mighty. I'm happy to report for those mechanized people like myself that it is handicap accessible. You enter through the main doors of the Millwald Theatre and take the elevator downstairs, and that is our way into entering this small but mighty, as Suzy said, mightily beautiful space. It is set up as a 1920s speakeasy with beautiful red velvet curtains. It's my personal favorite touch, being a sucker for the color red and anything nostalgic. I mean, you go into that space and you hear Nat King Cole's voice, you hear the glasses clinking. It's a very intimate, very beautiful atmosphere, and you just feel like that you are going back in time. Back, if you will, to the dawning days of the Millwald, which launched in 1928 as a vaudeville theater. A vaudeville theater that never happened because the theater was built with a live orchestra pit, which I saw for the first time when I was given a tour of the theater when it reopened in 2022. But they never got to use that orchestra pit, and they never got to use it for vaudeville. And for people who don't know what vaudeville is, I was trying to explain it the other day to a friend of mine who's under 30, and he didn't know what that is, vaudeville was a touring group of musicians, theater performers, comedians, skating stars, magicians. Everybody got together to do vaudeville, and they did it in one big show that would last typically for an entire afternoon. And Millwald was going to be the place that Withville would go to see all these things. But it never happened because a year later, the stock market crashed, and Withville, along with the rest of the nation, rest of the world really, went into an economic depression. So that was my long segue for you to talk about some special things and some special stories involving the dawning of the Millwald Theatre. So you go ahead and take it from there, Suzy.
Yes, so when I started designing this space, I knew that we wanted something that felt very special, felt like you were stepping out of the ordinary and back into time, like you said. I started doing research and came across this name, Mary Alexander. Legend has it, she was our starlet who never took the stage. She was set up to be an actress in this vaudeville production at the Millwald, and when they bricked over the orchestra pit, she never got a chance to take the stage. So this room is sort of honoring her spirit here, and people have said there has certainly been some unusual activity down here. So it's interesting to see. And maybe she's, in some way or another still kind of hanging around, enjoying the space still herself.
And the room that now serves as the Ghost Light Bourbon Bar, or at least a portion of that room, there are those who say that could have possibly been Mary Alexander's dressing room.
Right, yeah. The way the space is set up now, after with the renovation, all of the artist space is directly underneath the stage. But we believe that at a time, this space could have been her dressing room.
Mm-hmm. It is entirely possible that it might have. So we have this starlet who we don't know where she came from. We don't know how she found her way to Withville. But then after the stock market crash and the scrapping of Millwald becoming a vaudeville theater for which it was intentionally built almost 100 years ago, we do not know what happened to this young lady after the fact.
We do not know.
So there are those who say she was killed. There are those who say she skipped town. There are those who say she may have offed herself in the throes of depression and not able to make her theatrical debut at the Millwald. We just do not know. So the legend is, the legends that can be explored is Mary Alexander or any of her cohorts still lurking around within the space of the Millwald Theatre, trying to capture the star power that she had hoped to get that she never got.
And actually, today it's been a particularly eventful day. One place that we have noticed some activity is in the women's restroom in the lower level lobby, and it has been flushing on its own all day today.
Aha!
So someone certainly is here. If it's Mary Alexander or not, I don't know, but we've had a lot of activity today specifically.
She does have her favorite sort of tonics down there. Perhaps she's imbibing a bit much today and,
Yes.
and needing to use the facilities a little more than usual.
Yes, I can tell.
So with that unconventional segue, let's talk about some of the great cocktails you have down at the Ghost Light.
Oh, yeah. Brenton Underwood is our hospitality manager, and he came up with a really beautiful bar menu. We wanted to separate this space from the rest of our bar program here, so that it feels like it exists outside of just the Millwald, even though it's inside of the Millwald. So we have all vintage glassware, really beautiful crystal, coupes and highballs that he has filled with. I have a menu here in my hand. One of my favorites is called a Mary's Prescription, and that's Maker's Mark, a ginger liqueur, lemon sugar bitters with dried rose petals, and it's really beautiful. There's a play on an old-fashioned, lots of classic cocktails, and then we also have a really diverse bourbon and whiskey selection. That's where the majority of the bar program lies. You can also get, a gin and soda, a Jack and Coke, that kind of thing too. But we do like to focus on craft cocktails, and Brenton's done a beautiful job with the menu here.
Well, I grew up with Brenton. He's a year younger than me. His mother's actually married to my uncle. So I grew up with Brenton. His mother and my mother were friends always growing up. And during my younger drinking days at the Log House, he actually, I don't know if it was him or another bartender, but one of them concocted a drink at the Log House called the Zach Cooley.
I'll have to ask for that next time I'm in there.
That's still on the books. But
I love it.
Either way, Brenton is the master of the bar. He is.
He is, absolutely. He's very talented.
The wizard of bartending. There's no one better than Brenton. He's also a hellacious drummer, if you will. I don't know if you've ever heard him play, but he is a very talented musician as well.
That's wonderful.
He did a great job with that. And there was a guy I met that we need to talk about too that was doing the bartending down there. Mike Ambrose.
Oh, yes. Mike was here that evening.
And he was involved with some of the planning and revitalization of that space. Was he not a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Mike was our go-to guy when we needed. He helped paint the space. He helped frame in a door. He was our hands-on guy. This was very much a roll up your sleeves kind of project. Everyone who works here definitely had paint on them, concrete dust in their hair. It was a team effort to get it put up. But Mike was our main man here, who was kind of working on the space day to day.
And they all of you that were doing that, you must look back at it and say, "Wow, it was worth it." I hope so. Anyway.
Yeah, it was absolutely worth it. I don't know if you ever got a chance to come into the space before, but it was a beige room. It was a beige room with some cocktail tables and weird carpet. And now it's something that we as a theater are pretty proud of.
I did actually, when I toured the facility the first time, I did actually see it.
Mm-hmm. What did you think about it?
When it was just a beige room. I when I saw it, I thought, oh, this is interesting, because they did mention that it could be the dressing rooms for former performers, and I thought, oh, wonder what it would have looked like in 1928 when and if it were dressing rooms. And so I was imagining what the space might have looked like at that time. Could not have conceived something as beautiful as what all of you all came up with. To see it then and to see it now is it's absolutely awe inspiring. And
thank you.
And I really had a great time being a part of the experience and being a part of the bar that night. And of course, I had a wonderful conversation with you and your husband Dustin, and I just really enjoyed the evening and learning things that I never knew about its history, and I think that it's one, of course I was there to talk to you to do an article, and it was one of the most interesting articles that I think I've ever had the pleasure of writing in my 20-year career, because it was so full of life and color, and it brought so much life and color to our history, which is what we want to do with the revitalization of the Millwald, and the bar.
Absolutely.
We want the Millwald to be used as it was originally intended, which is a performing house, and now it is a performing house, and it's absolutely beautiful and it's absolutely fantastic. And the Ghost Light Bourbon Bar is its own entity. While connected to the Millwald, it is becoming its own entity. And as I said in the article, following its beautiful renovation completed in December of 2022, the Millwald has become a true jewel of Wytheville. It spent decades as a beloved movie house, defining childhood memories for local generations of locals, including my mother and me. Now the addition of the Ghost Light Bourbon Bar brings a new layer of history, mystique, and allure to its iconic space. The bar is inspired by the Ghost Light, a single bulb left burning on every stage to keep actors safe in the dark theater. So with the Ghost Light, we keep that burning proverbially, if you will, for Mary Alexander. One might say that her light is still burning. So that is an excellent thing, I think. You're talking about the different paranormal things that happen, if you will. Those are included, but not limited to, tales circulating of children whose favorite place was the theater, and former staff members so devoted to their work that perhaps they never truly left. So, not only is Mary hopefully out there somewhere, but many of her cohorts, many of her fellow performers, perhaps, people that worked there, children who loved the Millwald. I was certainly a child whose childhood was largely defined by the Disney movie screenings of the Millwald.
Sure.
Mike Ambrose, fantastic guy, relocated to Wytheville from Bakersfield, California. And there's my buddy Brenton, who we just talked about. Matinee Mischief, another one of the other cocktails, combines Tito's vodka, house grapefruit syrup, lime, dehydrated lime wheel, and a Himalayan salt rim.
That one's extra delicious as well.
Is that a personal favorite of yours, Suzy?
No, I am a bourbon drinker, so I do typically go for Mary's Prescription or the Millwald. But I have had a matinee mischief, and it is delicious.
All right.